I rise today to oppose the bill, and it's on similar reasons for which I spoke under the House-originated bill that we had previously, and it will echo much of what Representative Hobbs had previously stated today. Miller versus Alabama, in that case, the U.S. Supreme Court held that mandatory life without parole sentences for juveniles violated our Eighth Amendment prohibitions against cruel and unusual punishment. In the case of Henry Hill versus Rick Snyder, a federal judge, John Corbett O'Meara, found that retroactivity applied to the Miller ruling. I will quote the judge in saying, "Indeed, if ever there was a legal rule that should, as a matter of law and morality, be given retroactive effect, it is the rule announced in Miller. To hold otherwise would allow the state to impose unconstitutional punishment on some persons, but not others, an intolerable miscarriage of justice." In November 26, 2013 order, Judge O'Meara ordered this state to create a process and procedure for parole review of these cases, among other things. This bill will not be in compliance with the judge's order. This bill does not adequately dispose of the issues. There are also other cases being reviewed by the U.S. Supreme Court and our own Michigan Supreme Court. Why are we rushing an incomplete and unlawful piece of legislation? I asked my colleagues how many more times they wish to revisit this and vote on a final bill. I will quote a Detroit News opinion piece by Mark Osler, who was a University of St. Thomas law professor and a former federal prosecutor in Detroit. In it, he states, "The Michigan House is right that the law regarding juvenile life without parole needs revision. The current law is unconstitutional. The problem is that the proposed revision might end up being unconstitutional as well. It would be wrong to pass a new law before the courts have finished defining the full nature of the constitutional violations in the current law. To do so would serve neither efficiency nor justice." And as a final note, I would like to just state to my colleagues, I'm an attorney and I practice in criminal law as well. And as my colleague from the other side reflected, these cases, anything regarding homicide, whether it's a juvenile or an adult, are the worst cases we view as a society. I was a former Wayne County prosecutor assigned to the homicide division when I first started. Short of losing somebody to a violent crime that I cared and loved about, I was as close to this as you can be. I saw the struggles and pain that people feel when violence rips somebody from our lives. My vote in opposition to this is not turning a blind eye to these facts. However, we must, in our roles as legislators, obey the Constitution and also give way to the courts when they have ruled and are seeking to rule in a way which would uphold the Constitution. Furthermore, there are other cases besides just a trigger man, if you will, in which cases juveniles were sent to life without parole. There are cases of conspirators, felony murder cases. There are many cases which were not so cut and dry, and we might not think individually somebody might be forced to serve life in prison without parole. For these reasons, I ask that you oppose these bills.